Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Tiffany, chiropractor and holistic health and life coach. Today I'd like to have an honest conversation with you that may be a little hard to hear, but nevertheless my job is to deliver the truth to you regarding your health. We have to stop poisoning our body and then complaining about the effects of the poison, because they're not side effects in any way. They're actually just effects of the poison. So you may say, well, what do you mean by poisoning your body? Overeating, over drinking, eating too much of the wrong foods or eating the wrong foods for an extended period of time, lack of exercise, which means that you're sedentary, right? And then injections. And you know what I mean by injections when you take your son or daughter to the doctor, or maybe you go to the doctor and they're encouraging you to get a certain injection during certain parts of the year when your child hits a certain milestone. We have to stop poisoning our bodies and then complaining about the effects of it. Well, you may say, well, what do you mean by effects? So anything that God did not create for us to ingest or take into our body is poison, period. And even some of the foods that do grow from the earth, if the farmer is not practicing holistic farming, or we can't necessarily say, oh yes, that may have come from good soil. We don't know. But the truth of the matter is, if you're doing your due diligence to try your best to eat whole foods, and you're being mindful of speaking with your doctor and either following their recommendations and not following your recommendations, then you're doing what it takes to not put the poison in your body. We have the worst quality of food in the world. Our portions are ridiculously big, right? And just because it's put on your plate doesn't necessarily mean that you have to eat it all. We are consuming more food and we're moving less. So the Bible calls it gluttony, which is a sin. But outside of that, the things that you are consuming, if it's not the whole foods, the healthy fruits, the healthy vegetables, lean protein, or whatever kind of meat you prefer, if you're vegan, that's okay too. The bottom line is, if it's not whole foods, too much of anything is not good for you. And most of the time, the processed foods or the foods that you can find on the shelf or in the frozen food section, too much of it is poisonous. So if you can combine the poisonous foods with the lack of movement, right, it's a recipe for dis-ease, which leads to disease. And I know that this is hard to hear because we live in a microwave society where we want everything now. We don't want to take the time to prepare, to exercise, to move, to do our research. We just think that we don't have enough time. Well, in all actuality, you have to make the time. You can't say, well, when I come home from work, I'm tired. Okay, well then come up with a plan to meal prep, or maybe put something in the crock pot before you go to work. If we are continuing to consume these unhealthy foods on a regular basis, then we're poisoning our body, and we cannot complain when we turn a certain age and now we have these health problems, right? Because that's essentially what they want. The food companies, the drug companies, the medical profession, they benefit off of keeping you sick. So if they can keep you sick with the food, the injections, the medications, then hey, you're just a reoccurring paying patient whose health is deteriorating, and you're making their pockets fatter. And as a result of making their pockets fatter, you're dying and they're becoming more wealthy. Let's just call it what it is. So when you're poisoning your body, you're taking time away from your life, and you're enhancing their quality of life by allowing them to make more money. And it's not all about the money. It's you prioritizing your health. You have to be intentional about prioritizing your health. And it doesn't have to be difficult, right? We talked a couple of days ago about that 5-step health plan throughout the holiday season. And we also talked about moderation and not elimination, right? So if you go back and watch that video, that gives you the blueprint of what you can do or what steps you can take so that you can start prioritizing and taking back your health. Will things change for you overnight? Absolutely not. Again, we are that microwave society. We want things instantaneous, but anything that comes quickly does not last. You want to take the time to invest in yourself so that you do have that longevity and positive results over time, so that you are here for your family, right? And you are teaching your family healthy habits. This is not just about you. This will be passed down to your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. So if a healthy family didn't come, if you weren't born into that, then you need to take the time to create it, right? We are the most obese country in the world. Why? Again, because we are poisoning our body and we are accepting what they give us in terms of the injections, which is a quick fix to the obesity, but it has long-lasting detrimental effects to your body. So although you may not be as hungry all of the time and you may not be eating as much, the injections that you're taking in are far more toxic and poisonous. So these are all things that you need to think of. And again, diet, exercise, healthy relationships, your relationship with God, all of those things help you to build the firm foundation where you can work to achieve that goal of optimal health. You absolutely do not have to wake up every day and take 20 medications, take 2 or 3 shots, right? Are vitamins and supplements encouraged if you're deficient in your diet? Absolutely. Vitamins and supplements, however, they come from God. They come from the earth. There's nothing wrong with taking that because, again, our food is not of the highest quality. It's not the same quality that it was 20 or 30 years ago. So if you're not obtaining all of those nutrients and vitamins and minerals in your diet, it's definitely okay to supplement with a supplement. That's what they're there for. But when you sit down and you create that action plan for yourself, then you can definitely rest assured that, hey, I know that I'm not poisoning myself on a daily basis. So fatty liver disease, for example, type 2 diabetes, kidney failure, any of those diseases or disorders that are caused by an unhealthy lifestyle, you'll be combating that and working to avoid it. And that's what we want to do, right? We want to make sure that we are working to achieve optimal health and we are increasing our longevity if possible. We don't want to die a premature death, right? We want to be able to live and experience life and enjoy our loved ones. And we can do that if we're intentional about our diet, our exercise, our spiritual life, our relationships, all of mental health, all of those things matter. So I know that this was a little hard to hear, and especially with it being the holiday season. Of course, again, we don't want total elimination, Moderation is key, but you have to be mindful about what you're doing to your body on a daily basis. We want moderation, not elimination, but you also have to be mindful that a lot of the things that we consume is poisonous. So keep that in mind as you're working on those health plans that we kind of talk through, and also be mindful of your intake of what you're watching, what you're listening to. That's also a form of poison. If it's toxic, if you're watching reality TV all day and you're not filling your mind or your brain with something that's educational, informative, and helping you to push your life forward, then you're doing a disservice in that area as well. So I encourage you to take inventory, right? And be honest about where you are. If you don't have an accountability partner, this would be a great time to get one, because you don't want to go into 2025 with these same negative habits, right? So, in conclusion, we have to stop poisoning our bodies, period. And we have to stop complaining of the effects of our unhealthy or toxic lifestyle, and we have to be willing to do the hard work consistently to take back control of our health. Accountability is key. Honesty and transparency are also key. And while being hard on yourself, give yourself some grace for at least acknowledging where you are and wanting to make the change to move in a different direction. So take care of you so that you can take care of those around you, all right? All of these things are important, but we have to get rid of the poison. We have to accept what we're doing and work to make the changes. So until next time, I look forward to speaking with you soon, and heal holistically.